15. Never stop learning. Become a lifelong learner. Knowledge is power and the key to opening new doors. Never stop learning and developing yourself. Every day is an opportunity for you to become wiser. Seneca emphasized that learning not only helps you become wiser, but also helps you adapt to changes in life. Always be curious and discover new things. Read books, take courses, learn from people around you. Expand your horizons and constantly improve your knowledge. Knowledge not only helps you understand better, but also opens up new opportunities for you. Remember, there is no limit to learning. Every day is an opportunity for you to grow and progress. Look for inspiration and motivation to keep learning. Don't be afraid of mistakes, because it is from mistakes that you will learn valuable lessons. Be patient and keep trying. Let learning become an indispensable part of your life. You will find that life becomes more interesting, and you will improve yourself more and more. You joined me in discovering 15 Stoic principles from philosopher Seneca. Principles that can help you master yourself and live a more meaningful life. These lessons are not just theories, but specific actions you can apply every day to change the way you perceive and react to life. Remember, change starts with the small things. Start applying one principle at a time and watch the positive transformation in your life. If you find these principles helpful, don't hesitate to share your thoughts. Leave a comment below the video to share your experience or any questions you have. We will discuss and learn from each other. Don't forget to click subscribe to receive more useful videos. Let's transform life together in the best way. Transform your life with 15 Stoic principles from philosopher Seneca. In this life, I firmly believe that no one succeeds without stumbling over the smallest things. What I want to say is that failure is an indispensable part of the journey to success. Every stumble, even in the smallest things, brings valuable lessons. We learn to stand up, we learn to improve, and we learn to persevere. It is these failures that are truly our greatest teachers. When we face failure, we not only learn from our mistakes, but also develop tolerance and patience. Every time we fail, we have the opportunity to reevaluate ourselves, review what we have done, and find better ways to do it. It is important not to let failure discourage us. Instead, view failure as a natural part of the learning and growth process. Successful people are not those who have never failed, but those who know how to learn and rise from their failures. They turn their stumbles into steps to climb higher. Look at successful people you admire. They all went through countless difficulties and failures before achieving the success they have today. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Steve Jobs was fired from the company he founded before returning and turning Apple into one of the largest companies in the world. These stories all prove that failure is not a stopping point, but an opportunity to start over with deeper experience and understanding. The art of properly responding to failure begins with not being surprised by it. When Seneca wrote that nothing happens to the wise contrary to their expectations, this was part of what he meant. The reason why so many failures devastate us, failed businesses, failed relationships, failed vacations, failed attempts to get across town in 15 minutes, is because we never thinking that things can happen any other way than the way we want them to. Try asking yourself, why are we surprised when failure happens? Is it because we are too confident in our ability to control? Or is it because we live in a society that values success and does not tolerate mistakes? In fact, failure is an indispensable part of life. It is something that everyone, from ordinary people to great leaders, has to go through. What matters is how we react to failure and learn from it. Seneca, with his Stoic philosophy, taught that we should be mentally prepared for all situations, including the worst ones. This doesn't mean we have to live in worry and fear, but rather accept that failure can happen and is a natural part of life. This way, we will not be surprised or disappointed when we encounter failure. Instead, we will be ready to face and overcome it. Have you ever thought that failure can be an opportunity to learn and grow? Every time we fail, we have the opportunity to look back at what we did, what we could have done differently, and the valuable lessons we can learn. Failure is not a stopping point, but a stepping stone to move forward. Seneca once said, "Failure is the opportunity to begin again more intelligently." See failure as a strict but fair teacher, always ready to teach us valuable lessons. We know how to listen. Ask yourself, when you encounter failure, do you see it as an opportunity to learn? Do you blame yourself and feel disappointed? Or can you look at it objectively and find lessons from it? Your attitude toward failure will determine how you overcome it. If you look at failure positively and see it as an opportunity to improve yourself, you will not only overcome failure, but also become stronger from it. Stoics spend a lot of time practicing negative visualization, contemplating what could go wrong, what the worst-case scenario is, and what will be beyond control. Surname. They did this, as I said, first of all to remove the unpleasantness of surprise, but they also do so that they can enter every situation with their eyes wide open, so that they can prevent or appropriately adjust for a potential failure. The wise person is aware of all possibilities and prepares for all of them. In this way, there is no such thing as failure, simply results. Ever wondered why we are often surprised and disappointed when things don't go as expected? That's because we often don't spend enough time thinking about what could go wrong. We often get caught up in positive scenarios and forget that life doesn't always go as we want. This is where negative visualization becomes extremely important. If you are preparing for an important project, you take time to reflect on all that could go wrong. Resources might not be enough. The market might change, the team might go wrong, and even you yourself might fail. Get the desired performance. Once you have thought about all these situations, you will no longer be surprised or scared when they actually happen. Instead, you will enter the project prepared and ready to face all challenges. Negative visualization not only helps you eliminate surprise, but also helps you prepare better. Once you have anticipated bad scenarios, you can make contingency plans, mentally prepare, and be ready to respond. This is like going on a trip and bringing an umbrella when the weather forecast is rainy. If it's not raining, just bring an umbrella. But if it rains, you won't get wet and your trip won't be interrupted. Seneca taught that nothing happens to the wise that is contrary to their expectations. This means that wise people are always prepared for all possibilities. They do not let surprises affect their spirit and performance. They are well aware that, in life, not everything is under control. But by envisioning what might happen in advance, they can adjust accordingly and stay proactive. Have you ever asked yourself, if you were more prepared for bad situations, would you be able to overcome them more easily? When you are mentally prepared and have a backup plan, you will not be sucked into a spiral of anxiety and panic. Instead, you will calmly face it and find a solution effectively. But what does a Stoic do about unwanted results? They make the most of it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The hindrance to action promotes action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He meant that everything, good and bad, is an opportunity to practice virtue. Stunning failure is at least an opportunity to get used to misfortune. That business problem is an opportunity to control your temper or teach something to someone. Traffic is an opportunity to learn patience and accept that things are beyond your control. A rude person or a bad friend is an opportunity to do the right thing even when you don't want to. This is the Stoic way of looking at failure and misfortune. In my book, I shortened Marcus's phrase to, "The obstacle is the road," meaning failure is just an opportunity. It's an opportunity to get better, do better, start over, reassess, practice, whatever. Of course, it's easy to say, but much more difficult to do. I struggle with it. I don't say this like a guru. I am explaining Stoic doctrine. It takes a lifetime of step-by-step progress to become better. One situation at a time, one heartbreaking failure at a time. You have to ask yourself, okay, what am I going to do about this? How is this going to make me better? And then you have to try. Each time you will get a little closer, each time it will become a little more instinctive. It eventually becomes a habit or reflex. Ask yourself, when you face a difficult situation, do you see it as an obstacle or an opportunity? Do you ask yourself, what am I going to do about this? Or not? The Stoics advise us to look at each difficulty with a strategist's eye, not to avoid or fight it, but to find ways to exploit it. For example, when you encounter a business problem, instead of getting angry or frustrated, you can see it as an opportunity to learn a new skill, improve a process, or teach others something valuable that you have learned. When you encounter traffic congestion, instead of losing patience, see it as an opportunity to practice patience and accept that there are things beyond your control. Think about the last time you encountered a rude person. How did you react? Do you see it as an opportunity to practice patience and forgiveness? The Stoics teach us that even the most unpleasant situations are opportunities for us to practice virtue and become better versions of ourselves. No one said this is easy, but every time we face difficulties, we have an opportunity to improve ourselves. For the Stoics, failure is not something to fear. It's just a part of life, an opportunity to learn and grow. Every time you fail, ask yourself, how will this make me better? Don't let failure slow you down. See it as an opportunity to reassess, start over, and become stronger. Ask yourself, how can I turn this obstacle into my path? This doesn't mean you have to passively accept failure. On the contrary, it means you must proactively look for opportunities in every situation, turning every difficulty into an opportunity to learn and grow. The biggest challenge is maintaining this attitude at all times. This requires patience, consistency, and a commitment to continuous self-improvement. Remember, every time you face difficulty and find a way to make the most of it, you are getting closer to your goal. You are practicing virtue, becoming more resilient, and better prepared for future challenges. Start with small things every day, and gradually you will see a great change in your life. Leave a comment below and share how you have faced failure in your life. I look forward to hearing your story, and that together we will learn and grow stronger.